1,000 people in South area speak Russian and carry Russian passports. Relations between the two have been tense, and Moscow tries to reassert influence over nations that border it. Georgia has aligned itself with the West and wants to join NATO, a desire Bush administration supports, and has, of course, a bunch of U.S. forces, Marines, and Army there backing it up right now. Bob, is there any doubt right now that U.S. forces are fighting the Russians?
No doubt whatsoever, and there's no doubt whatsoever that this whole episode is the work of the United States, Great Britain, and Western Europe. And they are the ones at fault. They are trying to start a war. It has nothing to do with the freedom of the Federal Republic of Georgia. That's laughable because the election was rigged there, and that's how that president got into power. And of course, what's really important to them is to put the pipeline through there. And that's why the Israelis have over 1,000 mercenaries there training people.
It's just incredible, Bob, to be seeing this unfold. Let's talk to Aaron in California. You're on the air, Aaron.
Alex and Bob Chapman, this is Aaron. I wanted to talk to you about, this sounds like the perfect storm. You've got George Bush, who we all know runs nothing. You know, he's over in the Olympics. You've got a gigantic distraction going on. And at the same time, like you said, U.S.-backed forces are attacking Russia. Are we that crazy? I know that 30% of America is going to think that that's Georgia in the South.
We're not joking. 50. We're not joking.
Try 50. They expect that the Russian army, being led by a guy named Sherman, is going to attack Atlanta.
Well, Alex, I wanted to thank you. Your film Road to Tyranny back in 2004 woke me up. I had the honor of meeting you in 2006 at the Scholars Symposium. Bob Chapman, I work here in California, one of the largest precious metals dealer, and all of these savvy customers know who you are. And I direct them to your website, and it's actually helped me do well in this industry, the information that you provide. And I know that you're quite the veteran in this industry, and I just respect you both very much. Thank you.
Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, theinternationalforecaster.com. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the InfoWar, Infowars.com. Tons of phone calls, more key analysis you won't get anywhere else, right here on the one, the only GCN.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
There is massive continual coverage at Infowars.com and PresentPlanet.com of what's happening in Georgia. They're in its central northern area bordering Russia on the Black Sea. Look, bottom line, we need big articles up on Infowars and PresentPlanet.com done by our people. We have stories like evidence of U.S. military presence in Georgia, things like that. Well, that's all admitted. What we need to do is break down the fact that Russia has been attacked by U.S.-backed Georgia, or Georgia, backed by U.S., attacks and kills Russian forces. That is unprecedented. In a 10-year agreement with Russian forces in that area for peacekeeping, in an ethnic Russian area. Well, this is part of Russia. It's been part of Russia in the past. It's just unbelievable. Look, the military-industrial complex owns and runs our society, and they just want more wars. And before all the good old boys weigh in on this and think it's a great thing, this is bad for our future, bad for our economy, bad for everything. Just amazing. Let's go back to your calls. Let's talk to Mick in PA. Mick, you're on the air.
Thank you so much for taking my call, Alex. And this might sound a little bit out there, but 40, 50 years of obsessive-compulsive disorder concerning what is truth, what's going on in this world. I believe they are setting, the forces, the powers that be are setting up this war, to start World War IV, so we do go in and we lose World War IV, and the USA is handed over to Communist China and they're the powers in the world.
Well, they've said that China and Russia will be the center of it, and that the globalists have engineered all this to bankrupt the U.S. so they can buy it up, to destroy our name so we won't be the superpower. That is exactly what's going on here. Let's get Bob Chapman's take on that.
I can't add much to that. Boy, that's perfect, Alex. You're absolutely right. And this program's been going on for a long time. I think they decided in the late 50s, early 60s, when you saw the first GAAP and free trade and globalization get underway, and then we jumped off the gold standard in August the 15th of 71, and you put the two of them together, and it's been downhill ever since. And that was deliberately taking us downhill.
Absolutely.
What I think may shake some people to their senses. Hopefully, maybe our military will save us. But if you look, the only thing stand in the way of these forces of evil in the world was Christianity and what used to be the USA. And people who studied it said they didn't simply take over Russia and China and slaughter off 40 to 60 million innocent little peasants. They slaughtered off 40 to 60 million Christians. And I think that's what's in line for the USA. They'll get the USA, they'll get the Christians, they'll get the topple the USA at once. And the world enters 1,000 years of dark ages. And I don't know, do you think there's any prayer our military may step in and realize what's going on?
Hey, I appreciate your call. I think you've already seen Admiral Fallon and others say no to attacking Iran. And so that might be why that may not happen. But most of the experts we have won't say it is going to happen. Ron Paul, of course, Dr. Roberts, Ray McGovern think it's on currently. Bob says he doesn't think it's on. I hope Bob's right. Bob, that's one of the few areas that you differ with on our other gallery of experts.
Well, I think it's because I watch the enemy. You know, if you're going to understand the criminal mind, you have to be able to think like them. And there are very few normal people who can think like criminals because it's alien to them. And I think I have that ability. They are criminals. And I listen to everything that they say because they always tell you what they want to do, because if they have this egotistical bravado about them that, you know, a part of them being what they are, they have to let you know how superior they are. And when they're in that process, they also let you know that something's going on, and sometimes specifically what's going on. And so my take very often is different than others, and again, unfortunately, I usually am right, and that's not good for the world.
All right, thank you for the call. Let's go ahead and talk to Jim in Texas. Jim, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, enjoyed listening to your show for all these years. I was listening to an interview on, I guess, right-wing neocon radio the other day with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, but let's not associate it with right-wing, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-America. This is the fake right-wing.
Yeah, you're making me laugh like that guy going down in that movie that I saw when I was a kid called Dr. Strangelove. You know, there's nothing that guy can do about it. But I just think that, you know, if they could get somebody in the Congress, you know, more people like Kucinich and Ron Paul, it would put a lot more light on what's going on. You know, I've been listening, and I turned a lot of my friends on to what's going on, and we're all sitting around here at a break at work right now listening to your show, and they're just like, their mouths are open. They can't believe what they're hearing.
Well, let's be clear here. It isn't like we just jumped on this today and said, "See, we told you so." Who would have thought you'd have U.S.-backed Georgian forces with Marines and Army sneak attacking Russian peacekeepers who were there lawfully, killing them, and then John McCain saying the Russians are bad and need to pull out and allow this takeover to happen? We didn't just say this today or last week or last month, but years ago we said that would be part of the cards. We're right. We know what we're talking about is the point. Bob Chapman?
Well, I agree with you, and I just wish we could reach more people, and I wish there were more people like Alex on the radio, like 1,000 more every day, so that the public would finally get the truth and wake up.
Well, they just haven't been thinking in a complex way about the way the world really works. They haven't studied history. And most Americans, again, can't find Georgia on a map in the U.S., much less Georgia in Europe, in Eastern Europe on the border of Central Asia. They just can't do it. And all they're hearing on the news is Russia attacks Georgia, but then you read into all the deep headlines and they go, no, Georgia attacked and killed the Russians, and the Russians fought back. Now, the Russians have generally been showing restraint and will probably be restrained. I hope they are, but Bob, you're saying you don't think that. You think they're going to go ahead and because if it's a provocation by the globalists controlling the U.S., it's not us doing it, but using our name and our military and through us, another sub puppet of Georgia. If they started the fight to try to escalate it, I guess they'll try to order the Georgian military to keep attacking the Russians.